The IQ went to the
Yeah,
fucking ground in
yeah.
round two.
Like,
Crazy.
I think it was just one of those crazy things. It was one of the biggest upsets ever. But like, what
Sure.
happened to Amanda? Like, why was she so gassed? Like,
All right, guys, we're back here for another UFC pay-per-view breakdown. YinYang Monkey Sam. Don't even have to tell you, he's been here a few times now. And we got a decent pay-per-view, right? Keyword decent for me at least. I don't know how you feel
yeah.
about it, but let's get to it, man. Let's break it down. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think of
Mm-hmm.
that main event? Let's start with Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena. Thoughts?
Yeah. Um. First of all, yeah, I'd say decent is definitely the key word. It's not as stacked as like that Star Dead card or anything like that. Still a UFC pay per view though, so it's going to be interesting, man. We've got two title fights. But the first fight, Amanda Nunes, I'm excited for this one because Julianna shocked the world once. Does lightning strike twice? That's the question, you know. But you're against the GOAT, Amanda Nunes. I think I don't know, man. Like I think Amanda Nunes might be pissed off here, but Julianna shows she can do the end. She'll be like rolling with confidence, bro. Like absolutely fucking rolling with confidence. So I don't know, man. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Amanda Nunes gets the job done. She'll learn from her mistakes the first fight, come out and just probably try and take her head off, if I can be honest. But Julianna, she proved last time she's no joke. Bit of a sloppy win, I can say that, I think. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't clean cut. You know, she just jabbed her head off and then got a decent submission. Maybe Amanda Nunes wasn't up for it, but I don't know. I'd probably have to say Amanda for this one. What do you think, bro?
Okay, so I have a lot to say here. Um,
Okay.
this will be a good one. It's interesting. The interesting factor is there. You got to give it that. Here's my thing
Mm,
about this whole fight, right? I don't know how I don't really think Amanda Nunes is much of a goat after what I've seen. Here's the thing,
mm,
and this isn't to discourage her or to try to tear down or rip her legacy. She is considered the goat by most people, so I'll give her that. Have you watched? I went back and I did a lot of research before this, and I watched the fight, and I watched some Pena's recent fights and Nunes' recent fights. First off, Juliana Pena's no world beater. She's really not. Like, if you look at her record, she won one fight to get to Amanda Nunes, and it was somebody that was against a 40-year-old woman. I forgot what the name of it. Let me pull it up here. It's not that I'm not even
somebody's
trying to disrespect her here. You know what I'm saying?
no, somebody's
But
school teacher.
how is the name slipping me? Whatever. She beat this chick, right?
Yeah.
McCann. There we go. McCann. So she beats McCann, right? Who McCann at the time was 40, right? Nothing crazy. But she's kind of a win
Oh,
one, lose
Sarah
one.
McCann. Yeah,
Sarah
yeah,
McCann. There we go.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Getting a call
So
here. Scam likely. But can't trust anyone.
definitely,
But yeah,
no,
look,
no.
she beat Sarah McCann, who's a 40-year-old woman, right? Who, listen, no disrespect, but probably not in her prime anymore, right? And it was just one win that she got. In that fight, Juliana
Mm-hmm.
Pena almost got finished, like on the ground. Juliana
Mm,
Pena
yeah.
was actually losing a few rounds. Like, if that had gone to the decision, if she didn't get her in that last round, she might have
Mm,
lost that round by decision. Jermaine Durandamy finished her. Amanda Nunes dominated Jermaine Durandamy. And I know MMA math doesn't really make sense, but I'll say this.
no.
I watched everything, including Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes 1. And what I saw in that fight was, in round 1, it was literally just the Amanda Nunes we were used to. Even the
Yeah.
commentators were acknowledging it. Everyone, like, Juliana Pena was getting dominated in the stand-up. When Amanda was not gassed, Amanda was dominating on the ground. And
Mm,
every exchange, Amanda's just way stronger than her. It was just
yeah.
looking like another Amanda fight. It wasn't even good. Like DC and Rogan at the time were trying to figure out like paths to success for Juliana Pena in the fight. What could she
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Because she was getting beat so bad. Round
Mm-hmm.
2, I think Amanda was gassed, but I don't know why she started fighting so stupid. The IQ went to the
Yeah.
fucking ground in
Yeah.
round 2.
Like,
Crazy.
I think it was just one of those crazy things. It was one of the biggest upsets ever. But like, what
Sure.
happened to Amanda? Like, why was she so gassed? Like, that you know, fighters are proud people, and that like they don't say injuries and all that stuff. Like most of the time, or even like illness or something like that. But there was something seriously wrong in that Amanda Nunes fight. Nothing, not to take anyway from Juliana. But there must have been something fucking wrong. And I've even noticed on the UFC website that I think the UFC guards are expecting Amanda to come out and win. I only noticed this before because I bring up the fight when we do these things. On the promo, Amanda's wearing a belt as well. She's not an interim champ or a champ right now, but she's wearing the belt.
I think she's
I
a
was like,
45-pound champ.
Oh fuck, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
But
Shit,
it's
I
funny
totally
you say
forgot.
that because Juliana Pena, like I saw like a short where Juliana Pena was doing like an interview with
Yeah,
Barstool or something, and they
yeah,
asked her about Amanda that she is the champ still, and Juliana Pena was like, "Can you name two people in that division?"
yeah. I was just about to say, I was like, she's the champ, but the champ of what division exactly?
Right,
Like, there's
right.
nobody there.
Nobody, and she doesn't even defend it that much, or
Well,
barely
like,
ever.
bro, I can't remember the last time she even fought that weight class.
Right. So here's something that I wanted to finish up saying as well is Julie, I'll give it this. At one point when it first happened, when it was fresh in my mind, Joe Rogan and those guys kind of sometimes exaggerate. Like, this is the greatest fight ever. This is the greatest
Yeah, yeah,
upset
yeah,
of
yeah,
all time. Like in the moment, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
actually thought Holly was a far bigger upset, and I say far bigger than the one versus Juliana Pena, because at the time Ronda was almost invincible. Like there was Ronda and
Yeah, yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else. But I went back and watched the fight, and I actually changed my mind
yeah.
because I'm gonna say this to wrap up what I was saying. Round one was all Amanda Nunes. We go into round two, and Juliana Pena was getting beat so badly that she lands a jab, and Joe Rogan goes, "Oh, a jab from Juliana Pena," something like
Mm.
that along those lines. You know, like they were
Yeah,
shocked. Like it was like, "Holy
yeah,
shit, she
yeah,
did
yeah.
something." And then from there, it just spiraled
Mm-hmm.
completely. So the fact that a fight, dude, she was getting mauled in the first round in every
Yeah.
aspect of the fight. And then to turn it around, because it's not like Ronda was dominating Holly in that fight. It was a fucking close fight, and then Holly got her. But Juliana was getting beat bad. Not she was getting like beat up like physically, but she was just getting outclassed in every category of the fight. And then the fucking wheels turned. I've never seen the wheels turn in a fight that drastically.
Mm.
So I will give it
That
that.
was mad.
But just to make my final point here, it's right. It was a bit sloppy for me because there was a point where Juliana literally landed like 6 jabs in a row. Just and
Yeah,
Amanda's
yeah,
just
yeah.
walking into all of them.
Yeah, it was weird. Like it wasn't even like a combination or anything. It was just like the jabs. It was weird, man. Like I think something happened to Amanda, and maybe she was just shocked at like I don't know, not being as dominant. Maybe she expected to come in there and just be like, "Wow, this is done." I don't know, man. Maybe she gassed herself out in the first round, like just being so dominant that
She
happens.
was definitely tired. Her mouth was wide open. She was breathing hard as I was watching that
Yeah, yeah,
recently. She was, but it's the
yeah,
thing is, she was fighting stupid though. Like in the first round, bro, she was keeping the distance, shooting the inside. I mean, throwing the inside leg kick, outside leg kick, popping her with the jab, 1-2. But bro, in round two, there was none of that. It was just come
no,
forward, throwing jabs, and here's the thing that's annoying. If that's Shevchenko, fine, you gas and Shevchenko finishes you. Which, by the way, Shevchenko finished Juliana Pena by submission like 4 years ago. So
yeah,
again,
yeah,
like she's not like the top of the top is like Shevchenko. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. She's the best. She's the
yeah,
best.
I see Juliana Pena as more like a contender in terms of her talent. No disrespect at all. I don't see her as like a
Yeah,
GOAT
yeah.
champion, or you know what I'm saying?
No, 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 not really. But you never know. Like ever since winning that belt, she might have like some like inspiration and might just take that in the gym. And you never know.
Yeah.
This is a crazy sport, man. Juliana Pena might come out fucking swinging. Like who knows, man. So it's a
Dude,
good
I think
fight.
she's
Like
gonna win the fight. I actually think she's gonna win.
what?
You know
Really?
why? Because every time I actually would think on any given day Amanda Nunes is gonna win this. But the reason I'm going for Juliana is because every time I play this game, bro, it just the complete random thing happens, another person wins. Like Cyril Gane, I was like,
Yeah,
this is it. Cyril Gane's gonna beat Ngannou. He's gonna keep the distance. He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
outscore
yeah.
him 5 rounds. Ngannou fucking wrestles him when he's down 2-0. I'm like, it's going well. It's going well. He's up 2-0. Ngannou starts wrestling him and wins the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I know, I know. MMA, man. Yeah, I kind
So
of hope Juliana wins because I can't lie, bro. I'm crushing on her. Like I'm watching it in bed. She's a hot mama, bro.
And you know what I get a
No cap.
feeling of too? You remember when Reyes fought Jan for the interim lightweight championship when John vacated the title and like everyone was high
Yes.
on Dominic Reyes? Well,
Yeah.
you know what's funny? I feel the same way too. I would have picked Dominic Reyes to win that fight, but I just had a feeling Jan was going to beat him. Like it made sense for Reyes to win the fight because of what he just
Hmm.
did against Jones and all that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. And I have the same feeling about Juliana Pena. I just feel like she's just going to win. I just don't. And a lot of times you see champions, once they go all the way to the top, they just fall steep. They never get back. Like
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
champion, like that's great and then
Yeah.
falls off, loses their belt, just gets it right back and continues dominating? That usually doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. So it's very interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens, bro. But so I've got Amanda, you've got Juliana. That's interesting. We'll just have to
Yeah.
see, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's get into the co-main event now.
Yeah, man.
We got
That.
Kai Kara France versus Brandon Moreno, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm,
Yeah, what do you
I'm
think
more
about
excited
that?
for this. I'm more excited for this one just because I don't know why I never used to like. Obviously, I think I was as guilty as everyone, like not paying too much attention to flyweights. But as the flyweights have got better and better, I'm more excited for these flyweight fights more. And even after like
Sure.
the trilogy of Moreno and Figueiredo, just how fast the action is, man, and just the athleticism on these flyweights, man, it's just mad. So I'm like, it's like my new favorite division to watch now. And
Really?
these guys, well,
It's one of them
I
though.
don't know what that certainly won them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like at the minute it is. I go through phases, bro. You know what I mean? Like someone's like a nice heavyweight, but at the minute it's flyweights, man. Just the little rep me for the little guys. But as far as this fight goes, man, I don't know. Moreno's so good, man. He's so good. Such a savage. Kai France. I feel like every podcast we do, we're bringing up city kickboxing. Like every podcast we do
How can you
nowadays,
not?
bro.
They're
Yeah, they're
everywhere.
so good, man. Yeah, man, and just like that atmosphere they build in camp and all that. So I think if I had to pick, I'd say Moreno. I think he gets it, and I think Kai France just falls short. Um, but it's going to be a scrap, man. Like both are so good, man. Kai France has got power though. Seen what he done the Garbrandt,
Yeah.
and yeah, but again, I think Moreno just steals it.
How many guys do you know like that are getting finishes in the flyweight division? Like, how many guys do you
Not a
know like
lot.
that? Not a
Nah,
lot, right?
not
That are just putting guys
nah,
away like
none.
that in the first or second round. Kai Car
Yeah,
France is
yeah, exactly.
exciting, dude. You know, we did to Cody Garbrandt. He's on a
He is,
3-fight
yeah.
win streak now, if I'm not mistaken. I think Brandon Moreno
Hmm.
is going to win this fight.
Yeah,
They fought once. Interestingly enough, Kai Car
yeah.
France did as expected in the first round of that fight, where he got the better of the striking exchanges. Even had Moreno a little stumbled at one point. But you go to rounds 2 and 3, and Moreno surprisingly just took over the fight on the feet and started just
Hmm.
walking down and get real confident. And Moreno won that fight by a decision, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
How long ago was that? Was that
maybe like
like 4 years ago?
2017 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, a while
It was a
ago.
bit of a
Yeah.
while ago. Yeah. So I'm sure they're different.
Moreno's a different fighter from then. Like, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's since been cut, hasn't he? Since been cut, or was that
Yeah, he
before?
was cut. I don't know if he was cut
Yeah,
since
yeah,
that fight. I don't remember, but I don't think so,
yeah.
because I think that was part of his run to the top when he beat
Right,
Kai.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, this is a second fight. Kai is a very good fighter. I think Kai's best chance, if any, is early on, just because I'm not gonna say he can't go 5 rounds. I've never seen him go 5 rounds personally.
yeah. No,
So I
no.
just don't know. I'm not gonna say he
Hmm.
can't, but I just don't know. So I will say that Brandon Moreno gets to win over like the course of 5 rounds. Kai's power maybe starts to
Yeah.
tone down a little bit, and his energy starts to tone down as the rounds go on, because I think Brandon Moreno's a very good mixed martial artist, well rounded. He can win the fight anywhere. We've seen it. He's got good
Hmm.
power in his hands, good striking
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
combinations. He sets it up well. And then on the ground, he's very
Hmm.
good, gets finishes, right? He loves going to the rear naked choke. I think he has like
Yeah,
6 rear naked choke finishes on his
yeah,
record, something like that. So I think that could be potentially dangerous as well for Kai
yeah,
Car France. Later rounds, he gets tired. Brandon Moreno hurts it or
yeah.
something, gets his back, chokes him out. But it's going to be a
Hmm.
close fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I think Brandon Moreno should definitely use wrestling. Definitely make this a
Yeah,
mixed martial arts fight. Don't just try to stand and bang, because I
yeah.
think it's too risky now, because Kai's putting guys out, right? So it'll be a
Fucking
good
yeah, he
fight though.
is.
But I think Brandon Moreno gets it done.
Yeah, I'd say Moreno on like just a decision. I think
I
we
agree.
always hope for a war, but it could just be probably very technical between the two of them. But where does the UFC go if Moreno wins? Figueiredo's still champion, right?
Yeah.
Is that a fourth fight?
Well, he's going
There's
to be
so
the
many.
interim champion. So yeah, there's definitely going to be
Yeah,
a fourth fight.
like is there ever been a fourth fight in the UFC?
I don't think so. But if you remember before this fight got booked, I mean, yeah, before this fight, Kai Car France versus Brandon Moreno for the interim championship got
Yeah,
booked. They were gonna do the fourth fight between Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueredo. If you remember
yeah,
this
yeah,
summer,
yeah.
they were gonna do it. It was already planned, and then I believe Figueredo got hurt. Or
Yeah.
if it wasn't announced already, it
Hmm.
was in talks, heavy talks. And then I think Moreno's obviously hurt now, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
Moreno's
yeah,
not
yeah.
happy about the interim title either, apparently. So
No, I wouldn't be either. To be fair, because what's he is he 2-1 down to Figueiredo? But that first fight was like a just one of those decisions that could have easily been a draw. So in his eyes, it's
yeah.
probably more or less
No, I
even.
think
So
they
what?
did draw. They did draw, remember? And then
Oh,
Davison
really?
kept the
Yeah,
title.
shit, yeah, yeah.
So it's one apiece,
Oh,
actually. I
right.
didn't even
Oh, right.
realize that
Yeah,
till you
yeah.
brought it up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. Like I knew somewhere it was a draw, but I just assumed that you got fucked over. But all
It's
right, okay.
1-1-1 right now.
Yeah, and I'd be pissed off as well because you're like, oh fuck, to get that fight again, I've got to go through a killer like Kai Kara France. Like, I'd be pissed off as well. But
Yeah.
you know, does what he has to do. He's came through from a lot worse than flyweight interim title bouts, getting cut from the UFC and have to fight his way back. So I think he'll do what he has to do.
He's always game too. He always comes to fight. So I think he'll be like ready. He always seems to be energetic, like good mentally. So I think he'll be all right.
Seems like a beautiful human as well. If you watch it, he just seems like an all
Sure.
around nice guy as well.
The
Which
Legos and all that shit.
yeah, man, he's like just a dog, isn't he? But
Yeah. In a good way, of course. But yeah.
yeah. Well, we're all being a dog's a good thing, You
For
wouldn't say it was
sure.
face. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it was face though. Even if he is a
Mm.
flyweight, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's pretty small, but he'd still do some damage.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
what he walks around as, but that would be interesting, right? Just get like a 135, 125 pound UFC fighter, put him in there against like just like a normal man that's like 190 pounds rather, see what happens.
I think if you know jiu-jitsu, then you'll just wrap him up, make him
For
cry.
sure. This is just me
Yeah,
being silly
that's
here. We already know what would happen. I'm just trying
yeah,
to find the card
yeah.
here. All right. So let's get back
Yeah.
to this card. As I pull it up here, we got the next fight is a very exciting one. Derek Lewis
Yeah.
is back in action against Sergey Pavlovich. I was gonna say Sergey Spivak. Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting fight. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think I think just Derek knocks him out, man. Derek's the underdog in this fight as well, but I just like how can you make Derek the underdog, man? Like he just bangs and it's heavyweight MMA, bro. I mean, what does Sergey bring to the table? I mean, what is he a striker? Is he gonna wrestle? Doesn't matter. Like Derek Lewis, I think Derek Lewis just bats him, mate. That's what I think. I was looking at Sergey's record. Can't really remember what it is right now, but he's on a streak, isn't he? I can't
Let
remember.
me see. I think he
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I think he is.
He's
But
number 11 right now in the division.
yeah, he is. Yeah,
15-1.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
But who's he for, really? Though.
So he fought that guy. The only guy I know on his record really that he fought is Green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't even know remember
So
the green guy's first name, but it was that guy that fought Greg
mm,
Hardy. He beat that guy, but
yeah,
the other guys are eh, nothing
yeah.
crazy.
I'm interested to see how he's the favorite because I really haven't. I've only seen a couple of fights. I haven't really seen much to make him think that he's gonna go up against the Black Beast and survive. To be honest,
Yeah,
because time and time again, Derek Lewis just delivers. What I mean,
yeah,
he's getting better as well. He's working on his cardio, and I think he's. I think he'll get another shot at the heavyweight championship eventually. Derek Lewis, he deserves it more than most people. If he just needs to get in a streak. That's all you need to do. It's so frustrating being a fan of Derek Lewis, and he just comes up against these tests about these technical guys, and he just relies on those big hands, which is good because he can shut anyone out. But I just think he needs to be like more like the new age of heavyweights, like Tom Aspinall's, the Cyril Gans, and that. I just think he needs to evolve with that. But I think it'll just be a vintage Derek Lewis performance on Saturday night.
yeah. I think that's never gonna happen. The technical stuff, he's never gonna do that, right?
No, no, especially
It's
when he's
never
like
gonna do
40
it.
fights in. Why do it now?
Right. That's not in his DNA. You know, I think I've seen a bit of maybe not a decline, but like, obviously he's been losing a few fights, right? He's not like on a
Yeah,
crazy, he's only on like a one fight losing streak, so that's fine. He
yeah,
lost
yeah.
it to Ibasa. But I don't know how I feel about this fight because it's one of those fights where like, you know, Sergey seems to have like the technical advantage. Like he's good at keeping he has the length advantage, so he's gonna be able to keep that distance, which he likes to do. I saw a
Hmm.
couple of his fights and he likes to keep that distance. He has a good like Greco-Roman background as well. So he can use that.
Hmm.
He actually can take the fight anywhere he wants to, or maybe not anywhere he wants to, but he's good in any phase of the fight pretty much. I think I'm actually gonna go with Sergey in this fight, Sergey Pavlovich. I think he's gonna do enough, and I think he'll probably be able to avoid the big shot or maybe get like a
Hmm.
submission on the ground or something. But I think I'm gonna because I think Derek Lewis, in my opinion, I've seen a bit of a decline. And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and it's like he's getting older too.
yeah,
This is
it
just
is.
what I think. Maybe him losing isn't a decline. but I didn't want to put it that way, but I feel like it is. And he's getting older, and I feel like fights that he would win, that he used to be able to win against like Tuivasa and whatnot, like he's losing. And like here's the thing about Derek, right? If you look at his record, he's actually had like downfalls before where he lost to DC for the title, then he lost to JDS, then he won like 4 in a row, and then he lost to somebody else, and then he won like 4 in a row again or something like that. So he's been able to like bounce back, kind of like Dustin Poirier, and go on win streaks after losses.
Yeah.
But I just think the chances of him doing that are gonna be lesser as he gets older. And what is he like?
Hmm.
I don't know how old he is. I think he's in
He's
his
like
high
30.
30s though. And he
Yeah, he's
said it
getting there.
before, like he's very blatant. Like, I don't even like fighting and all that. So I don't know. I'm gonna take the Russian guy here. I'm gonna take the
That's
Russian
never a good.
technical
That's
guy.
it's never a good sign when a fighter's like, yeah, I don't even like fighting.
Right.
Like I seen Megan Anderson. She just retired. She's like, I just don't like competing anymore. And you can't go in there risking your life
Sure.
if you need a paycheck. And I know that's why a lot of up and coming fighters do it. But it's just a sad thing, isn't it, when you do it for money and you can get some good money out of fighting, I guess. If you're a born fighter, it's fun that. But anyway, I digress. Derek Lewis, I think you've got to remember though. Derek Lewis, he gets took down, he can get people straight back up, man. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep the Black Beast down. So maybe if Sergey uses wrestling, Derek Lewis might be able to fend it off. But I say, listen, I just believe in that right hand, man. He's always got that. In heavyweights, careers last longer. I feel. If you look at boxing, like you've got kind of heavyweight champions who are 43 and stuff like that in rare cases, and Derek Lewis is more or less got a boxing style, I'd say. So I don't think I see a decline really, but obviously age is a factor. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with a Black Beast.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting fight. It's tough, right? What are the odds? Like, I think it's like minus. I
Minus
don't know.
one twenty
Derek Lewis.
five.
Yeah. So it's close, right? Number 5 versus number
Yeah.
11. See if Sergey Spivak can crack into the top 5 with a win. That would be a huge win for him. I don't know, right? Because it's
Yeah,
almost
but
like, do you see Sergey Spivak just getting right into the top 5 now, right? Because that's what would happen, right? Now that I think about it, it's
not
weird, right?
really.
Like, I don't know if he's ready to
Yeah.
be in the top 5.
Yeah, well, like I mean, he's came from more or less nowhere, hasn't he? I think it's a big challenge. I'm going up against Derek Lewis, a guy like Derek Lewis. Like
Yeah.
you might have his work cut out for him, and the same favourites. Obviously,
I
the
know he
odds makers
lost.
are good.
Yeah, he lost his UFC debut. I forgot against who it was. It was against somebody good though. I forgot the name. And then he won 2 in a row, and here we are now. This is his 4th fight in the UFC. So we're gonna
Yeah,
find
we'll
out.
see. Yeah. We're gonna
Yeah,
find out, bro. We're gonna find out.
he fought for some promotion called like Fight Night or something like that. Before that, I don't know the name of that promotion. So
Yeah,
see. Yeah, let's move on.
yeah,
So we got Alexander Pantoja versus
yeah.
Alex Perez. Man, what do you think about that one? That's an interesting fight right there in the flyweight division.
Again, bro. Like I think they've done this on purpose for the first two cards of the main fight. So they're both. Well, I'll just start with the flyweights again. Like I said before, I love this division. I can't wait to watch this fight. Alex Perez hasn't fought in a while, so got like since like end of 2020. So God knows what he's going to be like. But he lost against Figueredo, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think it was that his last fight. I don't
That
know,
was
but
his
anyway, he
last
lost
fight.
against
That's
yeah,
crazy. That was a
yeah,
while ago.
lost against the champ, and again, no shame in losing against a guy like Figueredo, none at all. But he's ranked, was it sixth in the world? Pantoja's
I
fourth.
think so.
Yeah, after this fight, this could be like the next. I mean, obviously not title challenger, but they'll be right up there, 1-2 after this. So it's an important fight. I don't really know who wins. I don't really know what their styles are stylistically. I know they're both good, but I'm not too sure to be honest, mate. I'm just excited for the fight. What's your thoughts?
Sure. I think it's 4 versus 6, by the way, the rankings. So it's
Hmm.
good. It's interesting. It's definitely gonna. I don't know if it's a title eliminator. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all. There's gonna have to be a bit of rubble that's gonna have to clear and smoke that's gonna have to clear
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this
yeah.
whole thing because we're still gonna have to get probably the winner of Cara France versus Moreno against Figueredo and all that stuff. So is it a number 1 contender fight? I don't think so. I think the winner of this fight is probably gonna have to do one more against like someone in the top 2 or 3 or something like that. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The
and then when you
grind.
look at the fight stylistically, again, 4 versus 6 is obviously a high stakes fight. You know, Alex Moreno is obviously a better stand up guy. I'd say I'd
Hmm.
favor him in the stand up. Pantoja is definitely better on the ground. Like I don't think there's a question about that. I went back and watched Pantoja's fights against certain opponents versus Alex Moreno's fights against certain opponents. And on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
Pantoja is far more efficient. So I think this
Right.
one's, for me, it's simply the grappler versus the striker here. Not to say that Pantoja
All
doesn't
right.
have good striking, but I
Yeah.
think that Moreno's success is going to be in the stand-up. Pantoja's success is going to be in the grappling on the ground. I don't think Pantoja is great wrestling, but in the jiu-jitsu
No.
on the ground, transitions, all
Yeah.
that stuff, I think he's better. So I think that's what it's going to be in this fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I think just to play matchmaker for a second, maybe the winner of this could fight the loser of the co-main. That would kind of make sense in the rankings.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
That
the
would make
same goes
sense.
with the next fight. The same goes with the next fight. You've got 4 versus 5. Anthony Smith
Yes.
and Magomed Ankalaev. Maybe. What's a light heavyweight picture like now? You've got Yuri, Glover, Jan.
It's an
Who's next
interesting
up?
I call it the hot potato division, the 205
Yeah.
division, because the
Who,
title's been switching hands like crazy.
yeah. Who's next up for Yuri? Yuri wants Glover. He wants Glover, doesn't he? I think so. I think I've
Oh,
seen that somewhere.
yeah. Yuri wants Glover, but I don't know. No, Glover wants. Oh, does Yuri want Glover? I know Glover wants Yuri, but the question is, does Yuri want to fight Glover again? I know
I
I know
think.
Jan wants that title fight hard. He's been pushing for it hard.
Yeah. I don't blame him. So, but yeah, it's an interesting division. And as far as this fight goes, it's mad to see Anthony Smith still up there, number 5, man. Like he
Crazy.
could have a serious chance of going back to the title. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy as well, but he's got to get past Magomed Ankalaev, to be fair. And this guy's a beast. I couldn't believe it looking at his record that Paul Craig's the only guy to beat him. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Paul
it's
Craig.
surprising.
That seems a triangle. And just to rally off a bit about UFC London, what was Paul Craig doing against Vulcan, bro?
Oh my god.
I hyped him up so much on our last podcast, and
You
he
want to
was
see
just
this
like,
thing that I put on Twitter? Go ahead, continue.
yeah, he was just pulling guard all the time. I was like, oh god.
Hopefully my
But
phone doesn't die.
game plan didn't work. But bro, if I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna go for Anthony Smith. Fuck it, I'll go with my heart. Um, I think he might because he's so tough, Anthony Smith. Like so tough. I think he might just wear Magomed down, but you, what's
I
this?
don't know if you could see that here.
Ah, yeah, Ryan Hall. Yeah, it reminded us like that. It was actually Ryan Hall. It was like I know jiu-jitsu is good in that when you're a specialist, but when you're sitting there pulling guard, looking for M&R rules, it's just what you're doing. Just strike a bit, like. And when Ryan Hall was doing that against Ilya Topuria, Ilya
Right.
Topuria, that was not the guy to fuck about with. And
No.
he just like absolutely laced Ryan Hall. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's not 2003 anymore, man. We can't just be sat there trying to pull guard and shit. I'm no MMA expert, but come on, like you can see, everyone can see, like, yeah, maybe learn how to strike a bit, you know?
Yeah. So back to that big fight that we got to open up the main card of UFC 277, right? Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith, 4 versus
Yeah,
5. Could it be a title eliminator? Sure. Anthony Smith said on,
yeah,
because he's got the podcast with Bisping, he said that he thinks that the reason that the UFC hasn't booked anything between Glover and Yuri or anything like that is because they're waiting to see the result of how this fight plays out. And maybe,
right.
I think Magomed Ankalaev was close the last fight when he fought Thiago Santos. I thought that was probably going to be his title shot, but he didn't look. He won the fight, but it was a very boring fight. He didn't really engage much, so he didn't prove much to
Yeah,
Dana or the matchmakers. Magomed Ankalaev is a guy that I was riding pretty hard, I gotta say. Like before before the Thiago Santos fight, it kind of died down a
yeah,
bit because I thought the dude was like like a destroyer, like an absolute monster, like Hamzat, but like the light heavyweight version. I thought he was
yeah, yeah,
terrifying.
yeah,
I still think he is if he could put it together, and I do think he's gonna win this fight against Anthony Smith. Because I think he's just better everywhere. But the thing is Anthony Smith is good everywhere too. It's two well-rounded fighters. But I just think Magomed Ankalaev is just slightly better in terms
mm-hmm.
of every aspect of the fight. I think he'll win a 5-round decision,
Yeah,
3-round decision, right? Because it's only going to go 3 actually.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I'm going to give it to Magomed Ankalaev just scoring more points,
mm,
similar to like the Thiago Santos fight. But I think it could be a war.
yeah,
Anthony Smith is going to bring it, dude. You know it. He's always game.
yeah,
It's
man.
going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, you know me. I just go with my feelings sometimes. I just do, and he's a heavy underdog. But you know what? You know me, kid. I'm going to go for Anthony Smith on this one, bro. I don't know
You're going to go
why.
with Anthony Smith?
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. Just going to go for it.
You just got a
I
feeling
think
about this one.
I got a feeling, man. I don't know. I've got a feeling, bro. And I've seen him scrap many times, and I know if he's on a
Sure.
pay-per-view, he hasn't been on a pay-per-view in a while, has he? So yeah, I think he brings it. And also, I wanted to bring up off our last podcast because I see you brought up Hamza there, and you reminded us on our last podcast. I was really bigging up Mohammed Wakayev, the UK Dagestani. Did you see his performance at UFC London?
I did. What'd you
Mate,
think of it?
mate, that kid is just. I told you, like he's like the flyweight Hamza type of thing. He didn't get the finish, and he was like just disappointed at the end of round one. He's like a true Dagestan, like not sitting down, talking to the crowd and that. Like I fucking love that kid, man.
Yeah, I
He's
thought
only
he looked
21
good. I
years
thought he
old.
was dominant.
Woo!
You don't fuck with the
Uh,
Dagestani ones, you know what I'm saying?
no, you just don't, man. I mean,
No.
his uncle are from Dagestan. He looks like he's from
Yeah,
Dagestan.
he is from Dagestan. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
think he is. If he's not from Dagestan, he's from Russia. So, you know.
yeah, he's from Russia, but he's got that beard and stuff, so it's not Dagestani chin strap like. So,
I think that could be a fight of the night sleeper. I'm gonna bring up what I think is gonna be a fight of the night on the whole card, but
mm-hmm.
that's actually gonna be on the prelims. But I think
All
that's a
right.
fight of the night sleeper. I think Magomed Ankalaev, Anthony Smith, because I think Anthony Smith brings it. He wants to step forward
Mm-hmm.
and get in his face, and so does Magomed Ankalaev. So I think that's gonna be a good fight. But again,
Yeah,
Magomed Ankalaev doesn't really have that. I mean, he does have knockout power for sure. I don't think he has pillow hands, but he hasn't really shown it recently. You know, he just more so rides
yeah,
out
yeah.
victories, dominating fights, but no question in that. But if you want to get a title shot, you might have to start doing more. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. You can't like the UFC wouldn't allow you to snooze fight your way to the title, really.
Hmm.
I mean, Usman didn't have the most exciting fights until he fought Tyron, but at that point he was like just undeniable that he needed the shot, and then he became champion and learned how to strike. Like, fuck, Usman's built different.
Exactly. So, yeah,
Yeah, what do
exactly.
you
And
think's
you
going to
saw
be the?
what Dana White said. You didn't see what Dana White said, like the interview he had on the Dana White Contender Series like a couple days ago. He's like, you gotta finish. He's like, you gotta aim to finish or to win fights.
Yeah,
They want to see
yeah.
that.
Show me what you got. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, yeah. I actually just watched it like a couple hours ago. Yeah, he seemed really pissed off. I don't really
Yeah.
follow the Contender Series to be fair. I mean, I'll
I don't
watch a
either.
bit, but I mean, like it got me curious. I was like, what happened in these fights? Like literally nothing, because usually they talk about the contract sign. Like literally, nobody knocked anyone out or anything. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Dana's been a little bit weird lately. He seems like he's been a little agitated, but whatever.
You think
Let's move
so?
on. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you saw him
Yeah,
at the press conference having outbursts and all that stuff too. So I don't know.
yeah. I mean, he must be stressed. You know, no, it's almost fucking Fridays, bro. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
He's been eating some wild shit, and it must be affected him in some weird way.
Yeah, I know,
I'll be
right?
Yeah, man.
The
But
fight
anyway,
away
what?
doesn't help either, but you know,
Oh yeah, and then Jake Paul doing fucking diss tracks towards you now. And by the way, absolutely murdering you on a
right.
on a diss track. But what do you think's going to be the fight of the night? The
I think the
sleeper,
fight of the
as
night
you
here,
say?
as we wrap up, touch on the prelims here. I think I'm looking for Drakkar Klose versus Rafa Garcia, dude. The first fight on the
Yeah,
prelims, if you watch that
yeah.
fight, Drakkar Klose is a guy who is ranked number 15, but he's a guy who's a heavy hitter, comes forward, always comes to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, Rafa Garcia is a dog. I don't know if you've seen him fight before, but it's like
No,
two trains colliding here. It's gonna be a
yeah,
freaking. I think it's gonna be a war. I think it's gonna be a war
yeah.
fight of the night. I'm booking that one.
I've heard of Drakkar Close. I haven't heard of Rafa Garcia, but I hope you're not wrong, bro. I hope we see an absolute war. I don't know if I'm staying up for this one, bro. I don't know if I'm getting older or what, bro. But
Yeah.
listen, like I fell asleep during the Volkanovski fight. It was 6 o'clock in the morning because the fights were going on for a while. I was like during that Max Holloway fight, fell asleep, bro.
Well,
I'm
it's a
getting
good
too
thing
old
you
for it.
felt. It's a good thing you were asleep by the time the Adesanya fight came around, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that
I
was a
would.
snoozer, bro.
Yeah, I would have fell asleep during that one anyway. So you
That fight
know.
was so bad it put you to sleep even before it started.
Yeah, it was boring. Like, yeah, it wasn't good, man. It wasn't
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So, is there anything you're looking forward to on the prelims? You know, you got a couple exciting fights. I like Drew Dober versus Rafael Alves as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a good
yeah.
one.
I was just about to say I like Drew Dober. Yeah, I think the Drew Dober fight. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm surprised he hasn't got a number next to his name yet. He's fought some good guys.
He
Yeah, I
has.
think that's a good one. Yeah, he's fought some good people, and yeah, he's got to keep grinding, but he's a good fighter. And yeah, I'm gonna keep a close eye on that Drakkar Klose one as well.
Yeah, I think that one and the Drew Dober one are two ones you want to keep a lookout for on the prelims. And Drew Dober, by the way, is a guy who has a few losses on his resume, sure, but it's because he always takes these fights against these
Yeah.
crazy guys. The
Islam,
UFC appreciates that, I think. You know?
Islam, yeah, he fought
Yeah,
Islam as
for
well.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Islam
man.
almost made his head pop from that choke. That's what it felt like. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Main event will be maybe not the most crazy technical championship fight we've ever seen ever, but it's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting nonetheless. The card will be interesting, not the greatest card ever. We've been spoiled
Mhm.
lately. Again, I think that's a
Mhm.
good wrapping point here as we
Mhm.
finish up here. Thanks for joining the show, man, and we'll catch you for the
That's
next
right.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, man. I'll see you then, brother. Take care as
Take care,
always.
man.